Hello friends, this is Ganesh and video number 5 on enhancement. In this video, I'm going to explain the concept called BADI, business add-ins in SAP ABAP. So here I'm going to give what is BADI and its definition and how to find a BADI and their usabilities and what are the additional options are available. So everything I'll explain on this video. Then followed by I have some other videos on different types of BADIs, how to implement and examples and everything. Okay, so let's get into the slide first. So BADI is again coming under enhancement. You know about enhancement. If there is a place where custom code can be added to fulfill the business gap, so we need that particular place. And just came across the concept called user exit and customer exit with their types. And the next one in the enhancement is BADI, business add-ins. So I can say these are evaluation of the enhancements start with user exit, customer exit, and BADI. The same way how we have like SAP script, smart forms, and Adobe. So for the period of time, they just changed the logic or concept of particular methodology. So the same way now we are in BADI, it's coming under enhancements. So there is a standard transaction and I need some place to add my own custom code, so we have go with BADIs as well. It has its own advantages comparatively with customer exit. So we'll see one by one. And the same thing is called business add-ins, and you can write your own code, and everything is coming under one roof is nothing but enhancement spot. So enhancement spot in the design level, enhancement spot is the first step. And under the enhancement spot, you can have n number of BADIs, you can have enhancement point or enhancement section, and one more is also there. So I'll show you in the next or coming slides. So enhancement spot is the first level of your enhancement. Okay, and few properties about the BADIs is BADIs is designed with the help of object-oriented design. They adapt object-oriented design. So mostly you have interfaces, classes, and methods to write your own code. In customer exit, you have a custom Z include program where you can write your own code. But here you have a method. At the end, you have a method where you can write your own code. Okay, that's in the BADI because it's designed with the help of object-oriented concept. So by default, if you take any BADI, it has an interface. And from the SAP side I'm talking about, so they provide an interface for a BADI, and you can't use interface directly in methods of interface directly. You need a class for it. You have to create a custom class, and once you create a custom class, automatically whatever methods coming under interface, it's going to be the class as well for the implementation. And you can choose whatever method you want, depends on your requirement. You can start write the code in the exact method. So that is a way the BADI should work. Okay, and normally we start with BADI. We have some more options as well. We'll see one by one. And in BADIs also you have an option of implementing function exit, screen exit, and menu exit. So technically we call it as enhancement. Function enhancement or screen enhancement or menu enhancement is also possible through business add-ins. And standard and custom logic to be added. This is a quite new comparatively the previous one, customer exit. In BADI, you might have seen there are some standard implementation also in place. It's not only for custom code, but in the customer exit in the Z include, you have mostly with your own code only, the custom code only. So you're not able to see any a standard code. But in BADIs, so SAP as a product company, the SAP also using their own implementation using BADIs. So if you take any BADIs, you might have standard implementation and custom implementation. Here there are two terminologies we are using. BADI definition is nothing but the design. It is provided by SAP. What is the BADI name? What is the interface name? And their properties, some checkboxes, this can be done, this cannot be done, those things. Implementation is the place where you can write your own code. So the implementation can have two things. One is standard implementation. SAP itself, they can use this BADI for their own logic to be included, and custom implementation is nothing but your own custom code, you are able to do it. Okay, so the implementation can be a standard and custom also possible in BADIs. And then enhancement spot, so design level, how you can able to see the hierarchy, I can say. Enhancement spot consists of different baddies. So if you find any baddie, because normally if you want to find a baddie, you just find a baddie and go through the implementation part. But if you see the design level, every baddie is coming under enhancement spot. Everybody has its own enhancement spot. So it's one to n relationship. One enhancement spot can have n number of baddies. Okay. So BADI 1, 2, 3 definitions, all BADI designs. So you can, whichever BADI you want, you can choose it and can do your implementation. And apart from that, enhancement spot can have this, like you have a BADIs under enhancement spot, you have an enhancement point or section, and you have standard enhancement implementation. So all the enhancement things are coming under one category called enhancement spot. So normally it's not required you have to start from the enhancement spot. You can find a BADI and go through it, because it's not play a major role as per implementation perspective, enhancement spot. Okay, but you should know the design, how the enhancement spot and BADI are in the hierarchical level. So enhancement spot is always the first one. And how to find an enhancement spot. There are three ways as per my understanding. One is, normally if you find any standard program and if you want to know if there is any enhancement spot, mostly enhancement spot name starts with ES underscore the corresponding program name, corresponding standard program name. So that is the one way. Another way, find a package of the standard program, and through package you are able to identify what are all the applicable enhancement spot is available for the package. And the final one is, this transaction is playing a major role of finding enhancement spot or BADI SE84. So you can find through a package or through your industry hierarchy, or some other searching option also available. I want only type of BADIs, kernel BADI, classic BADI, classical BADI. So these are possible in SE84. So you are able to find the enhancement spot also through SE84 transaction. And how to find a BADI. And how to find a BADI is again through SE84. It's a wide open search to find a BADI. Otherwise, you might aware of there is a standard transaction. I want to know what is a BADI available when I click save button. So go to the debugging level, and before that, just keep a breakpoint using a class CL exit handler and a method get class name by interface. Keep a breakpoint. You're able to find whatever the our list of all the BADIs for the particular transaction or particular save process. Then you have to decide which one you need. And another one is the function module XSB get cliff by name. That is also a place where you are able to find your own sorry, not your own, find the BADI list of BADIs for the particular transaction. Okay, and an additional point, this CL handler mostly is going to be get classical BADIs details. Okay, so we'll see very detail about when we come to the classical and kernel BADIs. And these are some BADIs options, I can say. Probably if you go only for the implementation, then you don't worry about these things. But whenever there is a chance of creating a custom BADI, it's very rare scenario creating a custom BADI. It's nothing but you are creating your own custom enhancement spot, and you are creating a custom BADI definition. Okay, custom BADI definition, not a standard one, custom BADI definition. Then you're creating an implementation and you're going to call the particular BADI in any of your program. Okay, it's very rare scenario creating a custom BADI, but sometimes if any of the customer is designing a custom product, probably it required. Okay, in that scenario you need to understand all these options, but at least now just in one line what it is. Okay, So there is an option called instance creation mode. Whenever you define or design a BADI, every time do you need a new objects to call you while calling your BADI, or you're going to reuse the same object reference, or you have reused the same object reference that is going to be specific for some context. So these are the options available, especially for object creation of your BADI. Again, it's a oops concept. So you need an object to call a BADI. So that is the option called instance creation mode. Okay, just for your reference. And if you're not going to create a custom BADI, you might ignore it by know only one line what it is actually. And fallback class, this is also a part of design. Fallback class is nothing but if there is no active implementation exist for a BADI, then this method will trigger. Normally, if there is no implementation, it just go to the short term. To avoid those things, they included these options. It's called fallback class. Okay, if there is no implementation, active implementation for a BADI, then this will trigger. Another one is implementation example classes. So these are classes or a class available in most of the BADIs. It's like nothing but a sample implementation. If you require while implementing your custom code, I already mentioned you have to create a Z class, you have to create a method and everything. So in that case, there is an option. You have SAP provided an example implementation method or class. If you need, you can take a reference of it. Okay, there are two options: either copy the class same like the example implementation class, or you can inherit it. But there is a what do you call the option? There is a restriction. If the implementation example class is designed as a final, you're not able to inherit. So there are two options: either you can copy the class or inherit the example class. Okay, so two options. Or one more is okay, I'm good with my empty implementation, so you can go with the empty implementation also. So these are additional points which is available in BADI, especially for before creating a custom implementation part. And then once you come to a BADI, you might aware of these two types or terminologies: classical BADI or kernel BADI. I feel this is also a kind of next version I can see. So very basic BADI is a classical BADI, and after some period of time they introduce kernel BADI as well. They have its own pros and cons, but kernel BADI is much advanced compared to classical BADI. You might aware of it, it's faster than classical BADI. So we have a difference as well that we'll see a little later. So classical BADI and kernel BADI has its own properties. Okay, let's see very few on it, and you can understand a little more better about these two. And here, classical BADI usability. So if you take any classical BADI in a design level, definition level, and there are the option called SAP internal, whether the BADI can be used, okay, and multiple use or filter dependent. So SAP internal is SAP itself decided this is going to be used only in the SAP product level, not the customer level. Okay, so if this option got selected, as a developer, you're not able to implement your own custom code for this particular BADI. And multiple use nothing but same like the customer exit can able to have one implementation at a time for a particular enhancement or a component. So if you want multiple implementation, you have to use the existing Z include program to have your own implementation also. Same thing is available in BADI, but there is an option. SAP decided this BADI can have more than one implementation. Then this option will select or got selected multiple use. So one BADI can have multiple implementation. If this option is not selected, then it is a single use. So if it is a single use, you have only one implementation. And if you want to add an implementation, add your own logic with the existing implementation, you have to take care or have a word with the particular project or a developer, find the analysis whether it's okay to have your own implementation also in the same BADI. Okay, and filter dependent. It's a very simple understanding. It's like I already mentioned in the previous videos, enhancement should not be wide open. So it's not like it trigger for everything. So whenever there is an enhancement, it should be a very logical specific. It's going to be only for particular condition it should work, not for everything, because it should affect other business scenarios as well. So that is nothing but filter dependent. And filter dependent, it works only for the filter which you are assigning. Okay, it's not for everything. It's a kind of, so the BADI design level itself, you're going to control when this BADI implementation to be triggered. So that is, these are the usability of classical BADI. If you take the usability of kernel BADI, you'll get little more options available. Something it actually they overcome whatever is not available in the classical one. So kernel BADI has a multiple use options. So if it is not checked, then it is single, same concept. And here they mention very clearly, like can one be implemented internally at SAP? It's not for custom development, very clear. And limited filter set, there is some enhancement happened in the filter dependent also. They changed the name as limited filter set. So you can have only one filter, and you can have only assignment operator can be used, none other than assignment operator. So few things are applicable in the limited filter set in the kernel BADI. And AMDP BADI is newly introduced, which is not available in classical, and it's for especially for the AMDP procedures. If there is anything to be enhanced for the AMDP existing standard AMDP, then this option can be used. Probably you may aware of the AMDP procedures or functions. It's nothing but the AMDP is a methodology which is coming under CDS view. Okay, and you have definitely have a difference between classical and kernel BADI. Maybe I'll put it in a short video of what is the difference between these two, but maybe not here. Okay, so the decision is where I go to kernel or classical. That is not your own decision. For your requirement, you have to find out which is available. One of your requirement, probably you might have only kernel, no classical as per your version, and sometimes you have classical and kernel as well. So it depends on your scenario, depends on your need, you can go ahead with which one you want to it. Okay, and whenever you go for a design a BADI from the scratch, custom BADI, then these are to be considered. Okay, anything else? No, nothing much. So this is about a BADI and the transaction. Actually, I must SC18 and SC19 is the two transactions which take care of the entire BADI definition part, implementation part, and everything. SC18 is like S mode search BADIs, right? Only for just see the definition of your BADIs, and SC19 is like C mode. It's like create modification, same like SC19. You can create your implementation and everything. And we have some additional options also. You can have create an implementation through SC18 also. But there are two different transactions plays a major role for BADI definition and creation of the implementation part. Okay, and we'll see very detailed about, excuse me, interface, class, and methods while creating a BADI. And today I'm going to show you whatever I explained, like AC84, AC18, and 19. I just walk through the transactions, then we'll see everything in the next video. Let me get into the system. This is my system. And let's start with enhancement spot. So how to find an enhancement spot. So if you go for any transactions, excuse me, it's VA01. So it's not a compulsion. You will find enhancement for all the transactions. Everything depends on how the product is designed, how the enhancement is designed from SAP. Is it working? 1 second. VA01. Yeah. Now go to the transaction and find the program like this. And this is a program. Copy it, close it, and either transaction go to SE24 or SE18, and enhancement spot start with ES underscore program name and F7. So yes, so there is an enhancement spot, it's available. Under the enhancement spot, these are the enhancement options it's available. It could be an enhancement section or a point. We'll see little detail in a different video. And if it comes to enhancement implementation, so these are the enhancement implementation which is available. This could be a BADI, and technical details where it's actually got implemented or defined. Okay, what is the source and what is the enhancement point? oh sorry, the program. Enhancement object is nothing but the program. And what is the type of the objects? Mostly it's a program. Okay. So this is a way you just see the enhancement spot. It's a high level design of your enhancement framework. So spot is the first step to understand where, to identify where the spot is available, and under the spot what are the objects are currently available or definitions available from SAP side. Okay. And if you go to SE84, and here you can go to enhancement and enhancement spots. Okay. So here you have an option. If you find CES star, you can give a short description or technology or a package. The package is for the program which I tried for VA01S. VA is a package. So this way you are able to identify or search the enhancement spot which is available. So these are the enhancement spot. It's available over here, and here you can identify or you can see some of the enhancements spot starts with BADI as well. So it's not ES, it's few enhancement spot it start without ES also. Okay. And this enhancement spot has only one BADI definitions. Okay, if you see enhancement point definition, how they define, so this way they define it, has only BADI, it doesn't have enhancement point or sections. Okay. And enhancement implementation is also has only one implementation for that BADI. Okay, so the design you should understand before getting to the implementation, how your BADI is designed, how the enhancement spot is designed. Okay, so this is for just for your reference. Because mostly we closely work with BADIs. This is just an outer framework I can say, but you should aware of the design. And you can go ahead with application component also. It's like 1 second, sorry, F4 help. Go to the application component, F4 help. So through the industry components you can find out, and whenever you have a time, just play around with this. Make sure you have good enough idea of the enhancement spot and the BADI, how the design is actually. That will help in many places. And you can say go with general account ledger or any other options like basic functions. And here I can say I want value added tax. So for this business scenarios, I want to know what are the enhancement spot as provided from SAP. This F8. So these are the enhancement spot. So something is start with ES, some other start with FIN or FI. It depends. Okay. So these are the enhancement spots. It's available. So if you select any of the enhancement spot, anything you can go like, okay, just check. So it has a BADI. Okay, and we'll see little later about this. So this has a BADI, and this is the BADI name, definition name, and this is the interface name. Okay, and this is which I used to say like usability, instance creation mode, and call fallback class, and these are the implementation example classes. This doesn't have any implementation example classes. That's fine. So these are the definition design of your BADI. Okay, let me complete enhancement spot, then I come to this place. Okay, so this is a way also you are able to find your enhancement spot. So the major one or the frequently used one we have is material master. One second. Okay, here it is, material management, and if you see purchasing, and go with purchase order. Okay, so this is the one, and press F8, and these are the enhancement spot it's available for this scenario. Okay, and I think yeah, this is the one. Just go ahead. It's a cloud extendable informations are available, and this enhancement spot can have n number of BADIs, at least more than one BADIs I can say. So far we have seen only one BADI, but here you have multiple BADIs are available. Each BADI has its own interfaces and own properties. Okay, and this has there is no fallback class, and this has an implementation example as well, this BADI. Okay, so this is a way you can identify the enhancement spot either based on a program, based on a package, or based on the industry components. Okay, so hope you have an idea about enhancement spot now. The next one is BADI. I'm going to use the same transaction to identify the BADI based on a package or a industry components. So here the same SE84, and here you have an option called BADIs. Okay, and here you have two things. Are you looking for a definition or looking for an implementation? Definition is nothing but design of the BADI, and implementations you're looking for means it could be a standard implementation or a custom implementation. Mostly we search for the custom implementation only. Okay, so let me start with definition first and double click the definitions. Kind of same similar search criteria compared to enhancement spot. Few additional components or BADI name and type of your BADI, kernel or classical or classic, okay, not classical, classic BADI or all the BADIs. And most of the things, suppose if you want to use the enhancement spot or short description package or application component. I'll go the application component because I want everything. So purchasing and PO creation, execute. F8, and these are, it's all BADI. I selected all BADI, so it just displayed what are the BADIs applicable for this particular business scenario or industry solutions like purchase order. Okay, so if you double click any of the BADI, it will take you to SE18. Actually, this is nothing but a SE18 transaction, but we can play around with the same SE84 for everything. And this is the BADI and BADI name, definition name, description, and interface. I already mentioned BADI is using OO design, so you have the interface, classes, and methods. Okay, this is the hierarchy where you can write your end of the code. And usability is multiple use and can only be implemented internally at SAP, limiter filter use, and AMDP BADI. You might aware, like if you recollect, these options are coming for only kernel BADIs, okay, not for classic BADIs. It's a different one. I will show you classic BADI also. And how you identify this is a kernel or classic? Probably by the usability, by this screen changes, additional options, because you're not able to identify whether it's a kernel or classic through some checkboxes or anywhere they mention this is a kernel BADI, this is a classical BADI. Actually, no. Okay, and go to the enhancement. Okay, this is the implementation. Let's see a little later. So, and another one is instance creation mode. This is also useful. If you design your own BADI, custom BADI, then this needs to be in a place. Otherwise, this is decided by SAP. So they want every time they want a new object reference for this BADI. That's what they have chosen. And there is no fallback class for this BADI. And there is some example classes. So if you double click, you'll have a method and it has an implementation. While creating your own implementation, you can refer this example class if you need it. Okay, just double click. So there are some code, some explanation why they return this code. Okay, this is the one, and this is about example implementation class, and this is about the kernel BADI, and what else? These things I have already explained. We'll see detailed probably once you start creating the implementation part. And this is another BADI. And if you want to see the definition, so this is one of the definition. It has a different example classes. I'm just figuring out any of it have some changes somewhere here. But I can see something on finance BADIs. I can see can only be implemented internally at SAP. If you try to create implementation, if the option, this option is selected, it shows very clearly you're not able to add any custom code over here. Okay, I think this is everything for custom. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, let's see some implementation part. Okay, this doesn't have any standard implementation. Okay, this is also doesn't have. Okay, I think I need to figure out some implementation, standard implementation for any of the BADIs. Okay, nothing. So no BADIs has any standard implementation. Okay, let me go back in AC84. And if I try to figure out, I want classic BADIs for this particular application component for purchase order, execute, and it shows very clearly no objects match the selection criteria, meaning for this particular application component for purchasing order creation component and this process, no classic BADI available as per the version also. It takes, okay, whatever the version I'm using, for my version, there is no classical BADIs. If the version is lower, probably you might have. So it has only kernel BADIs. Yes, all baddies are kernel baddies. So let me change my application component to finance. Hopefully I might get, and okay, let's see how much kernel baddies. Okay, I have some kernel baddies here. Let me check any classic baddies. Yes, I do. So there are some classic baddies. So just double click. So here you have the definition name. You might have seen the difference in the screen design as well between the kernel and the classic. So classic, you have option SAP internal multiple use filter dependent, and what is the filter type, what is the field data element of the filter. Okay, this is actually a classic body. And okay, I might repeat as well. Classic body by default you'll have an interface, you have a class, and you have the method as well. But in kernel body you have to create your own class. You have to create your own class, but you don't have in classical. It's everything is inbuilt, everything is ready to use. But there manually you have to create it in kernel body. Okay, I will show you in detail. So this is actually a classic body definitions or a screens I can say. Okay, so here you have the class, but in kernel you have to create your own class. Okay, so that is the difference, I can say, one of the difference between classic and kernel. Okay, so this is about classic. Let me figure out some implementations, standard implementations. Kernel BADIs, let's see. I don't think so. Let's see. Okay, some, okay, implementations are available. Let's see this one. Standard implementation. So normally customer exit, it's open for custom code mostly. I can say all the times. But in BADIs, you have an option of having standard implementation as well as custom implementation. Standard implementation you can't disturb, so that is especially for SAP thing. And you can create your own implementation if the BADI has multiple use options. Okay. Okay, so this is the BADI implementation. So this is a different screen comparatively for your BADI definition part. So this is a BADI implementation, and what is implement class and then method and sort of code what they return from my SAP side. So this is BADI can have standard as well as custom implementation also. So these are standard implementation. So if you go here, so this is the one. They have written their own code. So BADI can be used for standard as well as custom. Okay. What else? Okay, another way of finding the BADI is through the actually SAID4 gives almost close to your own scenarios. I believe 50 to 60%. And if you want more closer, depends on your particular, could be a complex screen designing or a transactions, you have to go with the debugging level. So let's see. Let me get into that class first. So CL exit handler. Let's go exit handler. Okay, F7. And the method is get class by interface. Get class by interface. Okay, you can keep a breakpoint probably inside your what do you call transaction also. Go to the debugging mode and keep a breakpoint of this class and this method. Okay, and just what is the exit name over here? So this is the exit name because of the event triggered, right? Enter event triggered. So because the design, this is triggered for everything. It's a wide open class for all the transaction, not only for any business transaction. Even SE38 also this triggers. So you have to just take out a breakpoint once your search is done. So VA01, I'm entering the transaction of VA01, so it comes here. And if you open the call stack, you can see the previous one also. So this is the exit handler. And once you come out of it, you just come to know what is the class name or what is the exit name of the particular transaction. So here it is. So BADI SD sale. So F6 probably you have to understand what is the exit name. But it actually repeats. It's not only one BADI is available. So again, it stops here. Okay, it's inside. Okay, now it's okay. OR. nothing much BADIs are available till this level. Maybe once you search or once you click save, you'll find some more BADIs as well. Okay, so you have to list out. So now again it's triggered, and this is a different BADI got triggered. So you have to list out all the BADIs, and you have to find the import export parameters of your method. So okay, here import export is for the method level. Okay, not in customer exit. This is a function module. You can find what is import, what is export, what is coming in, what you can give back to the standard program. And here everything is a method. It's object oriented, so method parameters, whatever is coming inside, whatever is going outside. Okay, so this is one of the way to find out the BADIs. And another one, let me take out the breakpoint, otherwise it's stop for everything. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a breakpoint in my another function module xxv and get cliff by name, and go display, and here have a breakpoint here. So now let me open some other transaction, probably fi01. It's a bank create transaction. Enter. It stopped here, and here just name prefix cliff and plus f6. So you might know what is a class name and what is the name of the particular method. So this actually, it gives the class name exactly, not the BADI name, it gives the class name. So this is one of the places where you are able to identify the BADIs as well, BADI's class name as well. Okay. Excuse me. So here you have two options. One is you can go ahead with the class name, or this is the BADI name. Okay. So let me go this, copy this, and go to the class name. Show IC24 and F7. Oh, sorry, I pressed F8. Okay, again it stopped, I believe. Let me take out this breakpoint. So this is the class which has been used for the BADIs 1, or you can go to SC18 and go to BADI and take out the front ones, class name, CL and all. So address subscreen. So this is the BADI. So screen level you are able to identify this is the classic BADI. The options which you have seen are is for classic BADI. Okay, and it has its own interface, and there is any subscreen. Yeah, there is a subscreen. So I mentioned, right, BADI is applicable for screen enhancement as well. And just click interface. This is the interface and interface method, and it has an implementation class as well, default implementation class. Okay, so this is about the BADI, how to find a BADI and what are the properties of the BADI, types, usabilities, and so on. So hope this might be useful for you. Just play around with this design. So enhancement spot is always the top, and inside you have a number of BADIs, depends on the business scenario or which is provided by SAP. And if you have any doubts on it, please let me know. So we'll see in the next video about the implementation and other steps about BADI. Thank you so much. See you in the next video. Bye.